Hello, Charles. Welcome to what do you want to call it? Trifecta Thursday
Trifecta
or
Thursday
Trent?
be
I
fun.
got it. Trent Thursday. How about that? Santa Trent Thursday. Oh,
uh,
ho, ho. You got some work to do in about a week, don't you?
yeah, I got a lot of work to do, and I got to really finish this growing this out in that
Yeah,
time.
you got lots of work to do before then, for sure. Got to dust off those reindeer and shine up Rudolph's nose, for sure, Santa.
Well, it's going to get cold here starting after today. Every day
Mhm.
is going to get colder and colder.
Yeah, it sucks. I know. I got the same thing going on up here, and as the weather changes, just wreaks havoc on my head with headaches and stuff like that. So today's
Mm.
one of those days. So forgive me if I'm only 99% myself today. Last night we had a lot of fun with Outriders Kobe and Willie Laverne. I don't know if you had a chance to catch that show last night, Charles, but I tell
Oh,
you,
I couldn't get onto it. I went onto it for like 2 minutes, and then I had to get off.
it was a lot of fun, though. Those two guys they're telling some pretty good stories about chasing horses down with other horses. They're essentially like the state police of the track. They were telling us as little kids, like their dad and their uncle were outriders. And, they're sort of like the behind the scenes folks. You don't see, they're like insurance, right? You don't notice them until you need them. And then when you need them, boy, they go out and make a big difference. They run down those horses that get loose. And they telling us some pretty funny stories about how when they were little kids, their dad would tell them always in the morning when they would go to the track during workouts to tell the jockeys, get off my rail, get off. Can you see 5 and 6 year olds yelling at jockeys, hey, get off my rail? It was definitely a fun show, a lot of laughs. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It's on Horse Racing Radar TV or on YouTube. While you're here, hit that subscribe button. And our good friend Jamie Martinez is putting up some really nice short videos from the folks at Tampa Bay Downs. Make sure you check those out while you're there as well. All right, Charles. Well, reason we're here today is to ply our craft over at Aqueduct today. So that's where we're going to go. Looks like it's going to be a nice day to start the morning down there at Aqueduct. So let's indeed, we should have a fast track. Not a ton of scratches, but the ones that we got certainly impacted both of our picks, I would say, Charles.
Yeah, just a few that we did get, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, they did. They seemed to hit us up. I wasn't like yesterday. I felt good about a couple of bets. Today's kind of card, I was kind of, what
Now,
about
see,
you?
I'm the opposite. Yesterday, I wasn't too comfortable. Today, I'm much more enthusiastic about it.
All right, good. Well, yesterday I had that nice exacta, so maybe today's your day to have a nice exacta.
Yeah.
All right, let's hope that that is indeed the case. All right, let's get started then with race number one at Aqueduct. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up in here. Race one at Aqueduct. It is a 1 mile race. There's a lot of these races today at a mile at Aqueduct. Maiden claiming for $30,000. The purse is 38 grand at 1 mile on the Aqueduct turf dirt course. You're looking for horses that have early speed. Outside posts are better than inside posts. Again, real quick, just a rundown of what you're looking at here. Obviously, the morning line odds speak for themselves. Simulated odds. We do 1,000 races using the speed figures to create what we feel the odds should be. It looks like the odds are pretty close to on order in here. The 5-horse actually might be a little bit of an overlay at 1 to 2 if you get that. Looks like it should be more like 3 to 4. If you're looking for speed horses, early speed belongs to the 1 and the 5. Those two combined get together for the lead 80% of the time. Again, 1,000 simulations using the early pace numbers and looking at the way this race shape sets up. Again, E-horses, Charles, go wire to wire. EPs can go wire to wire, are usually in the shadows of the leaders at the break. P horses don't go wire to wire, but they are in the shadows of the leaders. PC horses can be in the shadows or close, and the 6 horse is a closer, meaning it comes from the back. A couple of first-time starters here, or not first-time starters, the 3 and the 4, they're never close horses. If they beat us, they get us. To me, this looks like this race should belong to the 1 horse. Maybe Charles being very competitive in here. Maybe not the winner, but should be on the lead. Plus advantage early on. Could be difficult to catch, although the 5-horse might have some say about that. What do you think?
And I definitely say the five's going to have something to say about that. The five is my first pick. I think this race is setting up for him. He's got that tactical speed, so he can sit off the one. One will have probably most likely have the lead. The five adds blinkers today, so that might keep him a little bit closer and a little bit more focused. This is the third race after a layoff. Like I've said in the past, my favorite move. And the 2-horse is my second choice here. This horse ran third last time out. Actually, last 2 times out. Sorry. But is 0 for 14. Starting to become a professional maiden here. Has speed, but not the speed like the 1. The 1 will be out there in front winging it. The question is, can he hang on? This horse does drop today, which will help him a little bit. Hot jockey in the last 7 days. And then my final pick, which would be my price horse, is the 6. I believe this is a jockey upgrade for this horse. This is the second time after a layoff for this horse. So those will be his angles to get to the winner's circle.
Okay, so our good friend Barry says, good morning, fellas. Good morning, Barry. You had a good day yesterday wagering with you guys. Good. Glad to hear that. Yeah, we are still looking for investors to purchase a horse. We haven't done that yet. It's something we're going to go into for 2023. We have a list of, well, we're about to have a family meeting at the end of the year here and kind of lay out our goals for 2023. One of them will be to see indeed what we can do to buy a horse. And there's some other stuff we're going to do regarding content and just trying to put the whole package together for 2023. We expect a big year, looking for some great content, and hopefully owning a horse will be a part of that picture. So as soon as we know, Barry will let you know. We're also working on taking like all of this data stuff that I've been putting up in the background, working on things, trying to create data-based sheets, not necessarily picks, but just to have some data out there to help folks kind of parse how the race looks, which horses are improving, which ones are on the way down, which horses are likely to be in their comfort zone, left arrow horses, horses with in-race edges, just a little bit of this or that to help, incremental improvements to become better handicappers. Could be the difference between a positive ROI and losing money.
Yeah, I mean, if all that stuff helps you get a horse that finishes up a trifecta or even a pick 4 or something like that, that's a price. Heck, I mean, that can make your week or the month or even the year.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, you hit one of those pick 6s, man, for $1 million. It's going to
Yeah.
make your life. I'm going to start with the 5-horse in race number 1, 2. Trainer Jeffrey Englehart and jockey Andre Worry. They've only run 19 races together, but they won 8 of them. That's a pretty hell of a strong combination. They have a plus 127 ROI. And again, just looking at our simulator here, it says that this horse should be about 3 to 4. It's probably going to get bet down. The 1 horse is that Lone E horse, does have a 5-point early pace edge. In order to win this race, somewhere along the line, you're going to have to pass the 1. I think there's no question about that. The 2 horse, Tequila, top last race, speed figure, was better in the early part of its last race, although at Aqueduct does, as you mentioned, have a case of doesn't want to win this. 6 times out, 2 seconds, 2/3. But if you look at the horse's race numbers at the distance by a long shot, they're better than everybody else's. And I really feel like the 5 and the 1 and the 2 are the horses in this race. Everybody else, like I said, the 3 and the 4 have never been close. That only leaves the 6 horse. So he's got to get that 4th spot, but that's not really what I would say a vote of confidence. Like he's the only one left.
Yeah, well, that's why he's a price horse. And if he wakes up and a couple things happen to go his way, hey.
Yeah, that would have to be the way that race goes. All right, so for race number 2, Charles, we move forward. This one's 6.5.
Oh, we didn't cover our bets there.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. We forgot about this. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Not that I forgot. It's just out of order. It's not habit yet. Go ahead. In your $100 bankroll, because as Charles mentioned, what we've done a little different is now instead of having our hot dog and our prime rib pick 4s, we're going to go to track with $100. And this is how we would spend 100. So if you go to the track with 200 or 500, or like Charles 5,000, multiply that by your factor. Okay, what are your bets here, Charles?
Okay, well, in this, of course, this first race, I really do like the 5 here. You're right; it is going to go out a small price, but I think he's a winner. So I put 25 to win on this horse, on the 5 horse, and then I have a $5 exacta with 5 on top, with the 1 and 2 sitting in the 2nd spot. So I think those, like you said in the beginning, those are the top 3 horses. So I see the 5 on top of one of those other 2 horses.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the double, with the 1, 2, 5, with the 2, 3, 5, and 6. I'm really kind of hoping that the 5 does get beat by one of these other 2 horses, not because I want to see your bets go down in flames, Charles, but because I want to get a price. I feel like when you get these 3 to 5 shots, you really need something behind them to win. So maybe we can catch a price in race number 2. All right, so I got a little bit ahead of ourselves. Now we catch back up. 6.5 furlongs. Claiming is $25,000. The purse is 37 grand. For 6.5 furlongs, you kind of want a horse that has tactical speed. But the one thing that really stood out here, it's not a factor here, but keep this in mind. There's a major bias if you get a 8 horse and out going forward. Post 2 and 3 play fair. The rail and 4 through 7 get a discount. So in this case, post 2 and 3 look like they're the ones that should have a little bit of an early race advantage, or at least a pace post position advantage. In race number 2, the 3 and the 4 and the 5, these 3 should get out of the gates, should compete for the lead, and then the 3 closers should come in from behind. So this is going to be a very much a pace-dependent race. The first 3 get out with easy fractions. The back 3 could have a hard time running them down. Charles, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was another race that's probably most likely a 3-horse race, but I ended up with the 5 in the first spot. He has the speed to hang on in there. He could take the lead, or he could sit right off of them. One last time out, well bet the last time out. The 6 horse is another tough horse here. The horse has got that tactical speed also, but more on the closing side. Ran second last time. Rice is 21% first after her claim, so she's always hot after that. This is one of her best things that she does, is claim and then run them right back. And then
I would also keep in mind she's even better, if memory serves, when she claims and drops. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes, that's true. That is true. And the 3 has the speed too, adds blinkers, which will keep them more focused. Trainer gets 26% after the claim. So that's my third choice there. And then my money play, or the long shot of the day here, would be the 1. The horse cuts back in distance. He's closing. He will be closing, and he ran 3rd last time out. So he's probably ready to rock and roll.
You mentioned the 3 horse likely. I mean, looking at the 1,000 race simulations, it sure looks like the 3 is going to get to the lead, 60%. Yesterday, we saw a horse steal a race at Gulfstream Park. It was the 8 horse, I think, in one of the races where we had him as the 90% chance to get to the lead, and he got to the lead and never gave it up. And so far, I would say this has been very accurate on who's going to get to the lead, kind of paying attention to it, and pretty much the order. Sometimes, the second or third choice gets in front of the first choice because, they get wide around the turn or something. And I have to say, too, that the sim odds have pointed to a couple of horses that maybe weren't the top pick, but you see a little bit of an underlay where, for example, the 2 horses 4-1 and 3-1, maybe that horse drifts up to 6-1. A lot of times those horses show up. So I'm finding some utility in this so far. In race number 2, I'm going to start off with the 6 horse Triple P instead of Triple H, I guess. It's the next in rendition for the WWE. Was a beaten favorite last time out, though. Despite getting beat, its internal race numbers were better across the board. She mentioned first off the claim for Linda Rice. I'm expecting the horse to be better in its 3rd start off a layoff. Not anymore. It's got that early speed, 60% chance to be on the lead according to our calculations. That November 27th workout was really, really sharp. So I'm expecting this horse to come off the bench. First off, the claim for trainer Robert Falcone, which is a 26% angle. And not only does the horse have that early speed, but it's going to catch a 10-pound weight break here. So that speed's going to carry for a lot longer than it normally would. Number 5, a Banker's Daughter, is the lone P horse in the field between front runners and closers. And I've seen so many times the horses in that situation get a perfect trip because the ones up front maybe a little too fast, the ones in the back a little too slow, and gets to run by them all. And this was another horse that was better and improved across the board last time out. And here, if you look at our sim odds, the morning lines are 5-1. Simulation said this one's going to be in the simulation, this one won the most. So maybe you see it do that today. And then finally, number 2, which is High School Crush. We all had one of those. Charles, whose was yours?
Oh, heck, I don't even remember anymore.
I have a joke there, but I don't want to get in trouble with people, so we'll leave it be. This one has the top early pace, late pace combination in the race. And this is your classic third start off a layoff at Aqueduct, 12 times out, 2 seconds and 4/3. So a horse that really looks like it cleans up the gimmicks more than it leads the gimmicks. So you have bets here too, Charles.
Yeah, I have a $5 exacta box here with my top two picks, the 5 and the 6. I really could not really say which one was my true first pick, and that's why I just lean towards the 5 a little bit. But the 6 has all rights to win this race, just like you just finished saying. And like you said, even the 3 has some rights too. But I think those other 2 are my top 2 picks.
Well, I'm going to go to my just default bet when I don't really have like a key horse and I don't feel like really good about any one of them. So I'm going to go with the 50-cent trifecta box, 3-6 over to 3-5-6 over to 1-2-3-5-6. I alternate sometimes between 2 up front and 3 in the middle. Sometimes I'll put 3 up front and 2 in the middle. The thing is, I've been going 2 up front, 3 in the middle, and I know the second I switch to the other way, it's going to work out where if I had just left it be. So that's really what's my thinking, to be honest with you. All right. So race number, and does that happen to you too? Like when you switch up?
Yeah, right when you switch up whatever you do as a normal pattern type of thing. Yes.
As soon as you make that switch, it's killer. Well, race 3, we're back to 1 mile. This is a claiming $25,000. Non-winners of 3. Again, the profile of a 1 mile winner at Aqueduct favors early speed, particularly outside in is the preferable way to go. Looking at the early speed, it looks like it's barbell. Either the 1 horse or the 7 horse are the ones that are likely to find themselves on the lead. Looking at how horses have made it to the winner's circle before, we do see that the 7 wants to go wire to wire. He gets the E designation here. If you combine its early pace and the late pace, the 7 horse, Give Me Back My Bullets, has an 8-point early pace, late pace advantage. Everybody else wants the pressure or close. So the 7 should have a tactical in-race advantage. 1 horse in here that maybe could be a nice price, the 6 horse, a left arrow horse, typically a closer. It's normal, giddy up and go when the gates open. Put him closer to the lead than where he's probably accustomed to. So maybe got a shot to pull off an upset at a price. Charles, what do you say?
Well, I think there's going to be a wire to wire here. I think the 7 could go wire to wire. One last time out, this horse has definitely got all the speed he could, to do that. 3rd after a layoff, my favorite angle. So I think that horse has got an excellent shot here. The 3 horse is my second choice. This horse is the closer, probably the best closer of the race, I think. He drops in class today, got a hot jockey the last 7 days. So I think he's got something to run at. The 1 horse, another speed horse that will try to keep up with the 7. This horse has that tactical speed, but well bet last 2 times. And you got a hot trainer last 14 days with this horse. So this horse is going to be watch out. And then my price horse today on this race is going to be the 2. This horse drops today, hot jockey in the last 7 days. It's got that kind of that tactical speed like the other horse, the 1. So he'll be sitting like 3rd or 4th all the way around and try to do something with there later.
Give Me Back My Bullets. All right, Charles, I know you know the answer. Who sang that song?
I don't know that.
No, come on, Charles. It's a Leonard Skinner reference, man. Give me back my bullets. Anyway, this guy does have a lot of early bullets and A+ early pace, late pace combination. So I think he's going to bring it home. He's going to be a free bird, baby. Number 3, Strong Lights. As the most late pace, as you mentioned, Charles. Did run the top last race speed figure, and I really do like to see that when it's combined with a horse that's dropping in class, like we see here today. As you mentioned again, Charles, 3rd off a layoff, most classic handicapping angle there is, and was much better with its early pace last time out. So I'd like to see a horse that typically closes that next time out, or it shows that it has a little bit more giddy up and go when the doors open, because I think you'll see a complete race. Number 2, Sir John, out in class, has 2 very good workouts between races, so the horse should be sitting on a decent one here. And then number 6, my long shot of here, Ghostly Prince, is a left arrow horse. Might get overlooked by the bettors off that last race, but if you just kind of slide to the right where they put the comments, said the horse stumbled badly at the break. So it has some back speed, stumbled badly at the break last time out, and it's going to catch a weight break today. So if it can go back to that back speed, live up to that left arrow status, get a clean start and not fall over itself, the horse could show up in here. Charles doesn't have any action. I go with the Eddie Olczyk motto. You have to have some action in every race because it might be the one you picked right. And if you don't bet on it, you won't win nothing. So I'm going to go with the 50-cent trifecta again. This is my default bet. 3-7 over the 2-3-7 over the 2-3-5, 6 and 7. Hopefully they go in order from the highest odds to the medium odds to the lowest odds. So we get the best possible payout. That's what I'm looking for there. Race number 4, we catch a bunch of first-time starters in here, Charles, which doesn't allow for us to really do the simulations because zeros really screw everything up. As you know, you can't divide anything by 0, and 0 plus 0 still equals 0. So
that's
not
right.
a lot we can do with that. This one is maiden special weight, 6 furlongs, $85,000 is the purse. 6 furlong race. You want early speed. 1 through 7, play fair. If you catch the 8 or 9 in this case, Liam's Champ or Promise Your America, they could have a little bit of a struggle because post 8 and out have had a difficult time. Again, with all these first-time starters, Charles, no need for a way to the winner's circle because we have no idea how some of these are going to run. But we do have an idea how you think they're going to finish, so tell us all about it.
Yeah, and I think this is you're gonna see a price here in this race, I believe. So the 7 horse is my pick here. This horse has speed, very well bred, very well. Hot jockey trainer in the last 14 days. So hey, if it goes off of 6-1, that'll be all over that. But this is a tough race. This is a pretty wide open.
Well, you can see by the odds board it is because, I mean, the morning
Yeah.
line under David Aragona put the 8 horse Liam's Champ as the favorite
That's
at
great.
3-5. And then the next, I mean, everybody else is. So there, I would pay attention to the odds board betting this one to see kind of who catches that early money, like when the odds first open.
Yeah.
Because that's going to tell you who the people at the track that had to make their bets and go to work, who they like.
Yeah, exactly. The 6 horse here is my second pick. This horse has hit the board 3 out of 4 times, so this horse definitely has talent to get the job done. It looks like has the speed, adds blinkers today, so look out for this horse possibly too. I mean, 4-1 on that one. That ain't gonna be a bad day either. And then the 1 horse is my third choice here. Another horse that's very well bred. Solid works. Dam has 3 winners from 6 starters. One of them's a stakes horse. So this horse should be have some talent in there somewhere. And then if you want to call this a price horse in this race, the price horse for me is the 2. This horse is definitely bred for speed. The speed that should hang on to a mile. Clement gets 22% with first timers. So hey, you got some good angles on with that horse.
Well, I'm going to start off with that 1 horse. And when you get these first time starters, I look for combinations that I like or, some indication of what the trainer wants out of the horse. So when I see Kendrick on a horse, I'm thinking that they want the horse to get to the lead and try to go wire to wire. So Kendrick is on this horse. And then I look at the workouts and I see that on November 26th, the horse did a 4 furlong workout in 47 seconds. It was the fastest of 123. That tells me that they're going to try to get this horse to the front. Kendrick likes to be on the lead, and look out if Kendrick is looking between his legs as they go around that turn, because that'll tell me he thinks he's got a lot of horse left. I expect him to be close to the lead. If not Kendrick, then I'm looking at this 5 horse Sherrill's Delight. It's a $100,000 horse, so not a cheapie by any stretch of the imagination. I know that's like that's your secondary car, not your primary car, Charles, but this guy has a November 23rd 4 furlong workout in 47 seconds too. That's fast. Number 6, Royal Poppy, my third choice in here, has, I think, probably the best of the experienced horses. Ran at Aqueduct 3 times, a couple of seconds and a third. 17 furlongs of workouts since its debut. So I'd expect a sharper performance from Royal Poppy here today. since that last race, 17 furlongs workout, excuse me. And then finally, number 8, David Aragona, I respect him as one of the best morning line makers in the business. He's put the 8 horse in there as the favorite. So I think it'll probably do pretty well. It's a $175,000 horse. The works are okay. And I know a lot of money's going to chase Chad Brown. He's the trainer here. But you also have to respect the Chad Brown horse on the NYRA circuit until it shows you otherwise, I feel like, Charles.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I mean, he gets the best of the best, right?
Well, yeah, he kind of does. There's definitely that handful of trainers that do that.
Race number 5, we find.
You didn't give out your picks there, did you?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry again. So race number 4, just got to get into a habit. 21 days to make a habit. We're only 4 days in. So forgive me, folks. I'll screw it up until we get to 2023. 50-cent trifecta again. I'm going to go with those 2 speed horses up front, the 1 and the 5, the 1, 5, and then the experienced horse, 1, 5, 6, and then 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a race, in my opinion. You have to have an opinion, and you have to back your opinion here. Because as you can see from the odds board, there's a good chance to be a good payout here. But it's also a race that's kind of hard to have strong convictions on. So it's one where you put like a small bet together, hoping that you can get a big payout. That's my wagering strategy on something like this. In race number 5, now we move forward to that. 6.5 furlongs, another maiden race. This one is a maiden $70,000 for a purse of 70 grand. It is 6.5 furlongs. At 6.5 furlongs, tactical speed tends to get you to the winner's circle. There is a major bias if you wear an 8 or out. So Awesome Native does have an opportunity here to perhaps benefit from that outside post. Everything else plays pretty fair except for the 4 through 7 get a little bit of a discount. So a horse in here, Charles, that I agree with you. You have is one of your bets here, the 7 horse. As we look at the early pace figures here, the race shape, there's a lot of early speed here, but there's one horse that just completely stands out. That's that 7 horse. When you look at its early pace figures so far, 12 points better than anybody else through the first quarter mile. So I could put it 2 lengths ahead of everybody else when they get to the quarter mile. That extends to 16 points at 4 furlongs. So at a half mile, could be 3 lengths ahead of everybody else. If you put together the early pace and the late pace, the horse has a 12-point advantage over everybody else. The other horse in here that has like an in-race edge like that is the 4 horse. That horse has a 20-point late pace advantage. So if he's close coming out of that turn, it'd be really hard to hold that one off. But I think it's going to be really difficult for anybody to catch that 7, and I think you see it the same way.
Yeah, the 7 horse. This is probably most likely a wire-to-wire here. Again, with the 7. This horse ran second last time out. Well bet in his only race. Solid works. So, yeah, this horse is definitely screaming that he's going to win this race. The 8 horse is my second pick here. This horse is bred for speed. I really like this horse's work tab a lot. This is how when I trained, this is how I trained up for the first time races. A lot of 5 furlong workouts. That puts a great foundation underneath this horse. And you got a hot jockey the last 7 days. So I see this horse doing some kind of damage. I don't think he's going to catch the 7 though, but who knows? He could be a special horse. The 6 horse is my third choice. This horse ran third last time out. Has some speed, but once again, can he keep up with the 7? Kendrick is up on this horse, so like you said before, if this horse doesn't pop the gate, then Kendrick is going to try his best to get him out there. Mm-hmm. And then my prize horse here is the 5. The 5 ran third last time out. He goes to dirt. He has speed, so they're trying something different here.
As I say, I agree with you. This 7 horse, my notes say, who's going to catch this guy? And that's a good question. I don't think anybody is going to catch this guy. Going to get to the front, going to get to the lead, and I think it'd be next to impossible to catch. And I don't even think he's going to have to work that hard based upon the pace numbers that we put together. I like the 4 horse here. As I mentioned, the only other horse in the field that has a talent bias over everybody else with those huge closing numbers in the debut. I think this is the one, if it gets off to a better start and can hug the 7 or be in the 7 shadow, has the late ability to run by it at the end. Number 8 is Awesome Native, is the first timer. He's got 20 furlongs of 20 furlongs of workouts since November the 20th. So a lot of workouts in there. A horse that should be fit, firm, and ready to run. And then the number 2 horse is my final selection in here, Trevor Bardet. Looking through the workouts, I circled the December 6th and the November 30th works. It's an indication that this horse could have some ability as well. You tell us about your bets here, Charles.
Well, like I said, I really like the 7 a lot here. Another short price horse, but if this is the winner, it's the winner. I put 25 to win on that horse. And then I also started a pick 4 with him, singling him out route, And then the next race, I've hit the all button, but the all button really is only 5 horses. So I hit the all button there. And then I went 4 horses deep in the third leg of it. And then I singled out the last leg, which is the 1.
So I did the $1 pick 4 too, looking at the same thing as you, as the 7. I think the entire universe is going to try to break this down to a pick 3 as well. And, probably the smart bet is to bet against the 7 here at the start of the pick 4, because it'll knock out 90% of the tickets if it doesn't win. But I think he's got a good shot to win. So I did it too. I singled the 7 over the 2, 5, 7, over the 5, 7, 9, and 11. And then in the back end, you singled up again with the entry. I think someone's actually going to beat that entry, and we'll talk about that at the end. But I have the 1A, the 1 and the 7 and the 10 to close it out. So 3 horses. So 1 by 3 by 4 by 3. That's my $1 pick 4 as well for race number 5, excuse me. Race 6 is the next race. So I was getting ahead of myself again. In race number 6, we're looking at another mile, claiming $40,000 for a purse of 60. This is the Aqueduct 1 mile, 1 turn. At 1 mile, 1 turn at Aqueduct. The type of horses that win have early speed, typically have an inside-out bias. This is a race that kind of got dinged up with some scratches too in race number 6. We're looking at the 6 horse, which could have been a lone E out. The 3 horse getting knocked out. That does a big favor to the 5, because the 5 now has the most early speed and won't have to contend with these 2 guys. So it might give it a in-race advantage over everybody else. The 7 horse here has the most late pace, but because it's only a 4 horse field, or 5 horse field, excuse me, probably going to sit not too far off of the leaders and have that ability to run by them at the end. Charles, what do you think is going to go on here?
Yeah, this is about the time of the day where it might start raining. So who knows about the track on this, but I'm going with the closer in this one. I think this horse has got a heck of a shot here. The horse ran second last time out and hot at the claim box this year, 4 times this year. He's 8 for 11 for 40K. Rich, just open up your wallet. Let's go and claim this horse. This is another one that's ready to rock and roll. And then the 5 horse is my second choice here. This horse has definitely got some speed. Hot at the claim box too, 7 times this year. So well bet in the last 3 times. So that's a horse to watch out for. And then the 2 horse, another horse that has that tactical speed, ran second last time out. Once again, another one that was hot at the claim box 4 times this year. And then my price horse for this race is the 1. He drops in class. He has the speed to hang in there with them. Drops below his claim price. So who knows? That might be the trick that does it.
It could be indeed. I like the 7 horse as well. It does have that top last race speed figure and dropping in class combination that I am a big fan of. The next horse for me after the 7, after 35.5, is the 5 horse. Last Chance at Glory. Well, its chance at glory got better with all the scratches in here today too. And trainer Rob Atras is a student of Robertino Diodoro. They used to work together. He was, I think, his assistant trainer for a while. One thing about Robertino is when he claims a horse, especially horses that have some early speed, he tends to do really well. I think Rob's kind of following in those footsteps. 26% winner when he claims a horse, versus 22% overall. So Alpha Angle, and this is a horse that's been at the distance 4 times with 2 wins and 2 seconds. So right spot for this horse. Good break with all the other speed scratching out. Excuse me. The 2 horse is my third choice as well, Charles. Gentleman Joe did improve the early pace numbers in the last starts, have a lot of really nice workouts between races, including what I call a bullet and go. The bullet and go is when the last workout is a bullet, and then he goes to the track. Number 1, Famished, back class, but really blew a tire last time out. Horse is dropping in his third start off of a layoff, but when I see a horse blow a tire, I kind of want to see the horse rebound next time out, or kind of look back through the history of the horse. And if it blew a tire in a race before and bounced back, then I'll say, okay, I can write that one off. But I did not see that pattern for Famished last time out. So I want to see that horse rebound before I have any confidence in that one. I'm going to do a $4 exacta box, the 7 with the 1 and the 5. Just a little bit of action in there. Not something that not a race I'm overwhelmingly thrilled to bet on, but because of the scratches and the shorter number of horses, I put a little bit of something in there just to see how that plays out. Race number 7, this one has an opportunity to make some money because you have a deep field here, although there were some scratches in this race too that impact. I put this together at night, so I don't have a chance to update it in the morning before we get going. I'm going to try to automate this stuff so I can just delete it, and then it'll recalculate everything. But that's a whole that's a lot of work too. That's the kind of stuff I can do on the weekend when I have a little bit more time. Looking at race number 7, we see that we're going to run at race number 7 a allowance $75,000 race for a purse of 75 grand. For the first time today, I think we're going to see 7 furlongs. This one has tactical speed, and there is a dramatic 8-out bonus. So it looks to me like there's some kind of track advantage for horses 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Tactical speed, and then even still from 7 down to 1, you see a outside inside advantage. So there's really clearly something at 7 furlongs that favors the outside horses. Can I mention there's a lot of scratches in this race? One horse that I had involved in my picks was the 12. Yeah, guess what? I didn't get to involve him after all. The 4 horse got knocked out as well. So you got a lot of the early speed disappearing. Some of the horses with the best late punch too, the 1 and the 2 are out. So that should give the 3 and the 7 a pretty good edge early out with a little bit less competition to get towards the front. Though I'm not sure either one of those will factor at the end. What do you say?
I like the 9 here. This horse will be closing. He has that tactical speed to even stay a little closer if he had to. But he's mainly a closer. Ran second last time out. Well bet last time out. This horse looks pretty good in this situation. The 7 horse is my second choice here. This horse has some speed. Won last 2 times. Hot jockey last 7 days. Everything points good for this horse and this distance and everything. And then the 11 horse. This horse has speed. This is his 3rd time after a layoff, and so that puts him all in the hunt in this one, especially after all the scratches. And then my price horse here will be the 8. This horse cuts back in distance today. Hot trainer for the last 14 days, and it fits well with these horses.
I like the 9 horse too as my top pick. This is an open race, I feel like. And one of the things that kind of concerns me a little bit is when we did the simulation here for 1,000 races, it didn't really come out that well. Odds should be 32 to 1. It says that's how infrequently it won. So, but when I look, I mean, you can't just completely count on quantitative stuff. You also have to have the qualitative, get in it, do it yourself. The man, looking at it with your own eyes and stuff.
Well, now with the scratches, the 12 horse, look at those, how the simulated odds compare to the real odds.
Well, they were
now
that's going to change everything.
That changes a lot of scenario there. So
it does indeed. And like I said, I'm going to try to automate that. But when I looked at it, my hands-on approach instead of black boxing it, the horse did run the top last race speed figure. It's going to be close, but one of those horses at the end that kind of, I think, starts to look around for who's going to pass me, because 3 races in a row, it finished within a length of the leader. So a little bit better fractions last out. Resume says that race number 2 should be a little bit better than race number 1 off the sidelines. The 7 horse is my second selection as well, which absolutely 1000% proves that Charles is in my computer. It did show some regression in its last race, but does have a really sharp workout since then. So I'm expecting the horse to bounce back up. The 11 horse gets here 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row, looking to make it 4 in the third start off a layoff. And then I'm going to go with number 5 horse in here, Salsa Aparte, a little bit of a flyer for me. Big flyer, according to simulations, should be 168-1. I hope I get those odds and it wins. Last race was better than it looks on paper with some big internal race improvement and one that's got the possibility to up its game in race number 2 off the break. I do think with all the scratches, it does put the 9 and the 7 out a little bit in tier 1 relative to everybody else. So I'm going to do a $1 double, the 7 and the 9. And in race number 10, I'm going to go with the entry, the 1, the 1A, the 6, the 7, the 9, and the 10 for my wager in race number 7, which takes us to the nightcap, race number 8. We're back to 1 mile on the main track there, that 1-turn mile at Aqueduct, which does favor, again, at 1 mile. It does favor early speed, particularly that on the outside versus the inside. We do see here that if we look at the early pace, the 1A has a 47% chance to be on the lead. If not, the 7 horse, Magical Ways, will challenge for that spot. The 1 and 1A certainly look like they're fairly priced, according to odds maker David Aragona. 2-1, but if you put the 2 together, I think that should take them down from where they are. So they look like they're properly priced. Looks like you like them a lot, Charles. And if we take a look at what the way to the winner circle worksheet says about this race, the 1A does have some of the most early speed, as does the 7, according to our chart. And the way we look at things, way I calculate them, it confirms the 6 will be a part of that equation too. But if the 1A can't beat him on the front, then the 1 will beat him on the back, because he does have a 14-point late pace advantage over the rest of the field. So they're barbelling approaching that one. Charles, what do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're definitely. Matter of fact, I'm going to call it right now. You're going to see the 1 and 1A as first and second, to be honest with you. But I'm going to go with the 1 as my first choice. This horse ran third last time out. Brown gets 27% when they're 90 plus days off. So this horse is ready to rock and roll, nice and fresh. The 1A has the speed, ran second. Brown gets 34% when he goes from sprint to route. So, like you said, barbells. I mean, this is
They get you inside or out, baby, one way or the other.
Yeah, they got you.
It's like the government and taxes. One way or another, they get you.
One way or another. And also the 1 is the first time gelding and first time Lasix. So there's a lot of pluses with the 1. And then the 6 horse is my second choice here. Ran third last 2 times. The horse has got more of the tactical speed. He can sit second or third right there off of him. So that's what I actually see him doing. And then the 10 horse has speed. Ran third last time out, second after a layoff here. So this horse could be challenging the 1A a little bit, but I still think the 1A's got the best speed of all of them. And then my price horse will be the 9. Ran fourth last time out, only got beat by a length and a quarter. Second after a layoff here for this horse, and I'm the hot jockey for the last 7 days.
So I'm going to go with the 10 horse to beat your 1 here, Charles. Top last race speed figure by a lot. I mean, a lot. Now, it was a substantial increase from anything it had done before, but it was the first time off the bench. So the resume says that this horse should be as good in the second start off the layoff as it is on the first start off the layoff. So something's got to give. The horse either has to come back to the class, or everybody else has got to catch up and go by them. So I've seen way too many times a horse with that sort of speed number discrepancy get overlooked by other horses that maybe look better on paper, but they don't make up that ground. And if they do, it'll be the 1 or the 1A, that dynamic duo, the inside-out duo, as we talked about. Either they'll beat you from the front or they'll beat you from the back. But certainly they have their opportunities both ways. I like the 7 horse in here too, Magical Ways. This guy flashed some speed. In fact, a lot of speed in its debut, was well bet, and has 2 really good workouts, including a bullet and go. So I think you're going to see an improved effort from number 7 in career race number 2. And then we'll close it out with number 6, Matt Doyle. Missed by a neck in that last race with better race internals. And this horse has been at Aqueduct 4 times with a 2nd and 3/3. So 100% in the gimmicks. My last bet of the day, again, going to go to that fail-safe trifecta, the 1 and the 10 with the 1, the 1A, the 7 and the 10, and the second part, 1, 1A, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10 to close it out. As I feel like there's an opportunity behind the 1 and the 10 for something to come in at a nice price. Hopefully it goes 10, 7, and bomb, because that would be the highest paying trifecta I can see. What do you got?
Yeah, I got the win on the 1. I think it's the dynamic duel that's a little bit too hard to beat, in my opinion, and especially if they stay at 2 to 1. That'd be a fantastic price for these.
It ain't going to stay at 2 to 1.
Well,
I can promise. I think it'll be closer to 1 to 1, 4 to 5.
But I'll take even money though. But I would definitely love 2 to 1, and I just don't see them getting beat.
Well, I see the 10 getting them. That's what makes it great. If you like what you saw here today, please touchdown TD Houghton. Thank you for the thumbs up, TD. Hopefully you get some W's in you as well coming up. So certainly like to see you in the winner's circle. If you like what you see here, thumbs up, please, on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that bell. Tell your friends about us. Follow us on our social sites down below. That's TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Horse Race, the number 2 day. Again, Jamie's putting some great stuff up on TikTok. We're adding that to shorts on our YouTube channel. Our full card picks for today look like this. You see, 4 races, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Look at the 7s.
8. Yes, you got 7s they're everywhere. So 7s have a good day. We'll both have a pretty nice day for sure. Charles, that's an absolute. We'll post our picks and all of our wagers over at horseracingtoday.net, along with the way to the winner circle pay sheet. In about 15 minutes, you'll see that up over there. Again, horseracingtoday.net. A little later on today, if you plan on betting at Remington Park, please head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You'll see it is the free track of the day at Remington Park. There is a link in the description down below. Please hit that. And guess what? Tomorrow, Charles, bowl season kicks off for college football. That means you better head on over to the Picks with the Professor if you plan on playing any bowl games. Professor Sides and all of his statistical models will tell you who he thinks is going to win and why. And again, there's a link in the description down below. All right, Charles, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today?
No, I think actually you touched everything. Just, hey, everybody, you have any suggestions or anything like that, or even questions like they asked about claiming horses or buying a horse. Hey, drop us an email or send us a message or join us on another show, and you could ask those questions again, and hopefully we have answers for all of them.
Yeah. Feel free to comment, give us your picks. We certainly love to have the interaction. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern with Tom for our Foreign Fridays. We're going to head down to Eagle Farms in Australia. Always a lot of fun to do insomnia racing. I always think when I get done with the show that I'm not going to be up to watch these races at 2 in the morning. And I'm always up at 2 in the morning watching these races because when you make the picks, you just want to kind of see how they play out, right? So it keeps you awake. I guess it's better than caffeine in that respect. I don't know what we're going to do on Saturday, Charles and I, but we'll figure that out. We'll post it on our social sites below. But Charles and I will be back Saturday morning for a nice day of racing at one of the tracks with the most stake races. So make sure you check that out. Next week, Jamie returns with Sean for Horse Center. I know it's Jockey Week. They got a lot of jockeys on next week. So if you have any questions for the jockeys, head on over to our Horse Center show. Ask them. They always are very welcoming and in terms of answering questions. And that wraps it up for the day, Charles. So no matter what it is that you're doing at the track today, at work today, kind of out there getting those last minute gifts, whatever it is that you're doing, Charles, we hope that it ends up in one place, Charles. And where does that have to be?
It has to be the winner circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this Charles Trent Santa Thursday. Have a fantastic day and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.